What's going on, Game Time Excellence family? Hope you guys are doing well. Tonight, I'm recording right now at 9:30 p.m. and we're getting a little bit better, man. 1% better. This is another video. We getting there, but man, I had a scare. No lie, man. I almost went to the emergency room. I have been sick since Friday, and it was tough for me to breathe. And I'm not talking about COVID or anything like that. What I am talking about, it's kind of nasty to even talk about, you know what I mean? But I almost went to the emergency room, and I waited a little bit, and I'm glad I waited because I had to think about, what I was putting in my body. But I pooped. I pooped. And I didn't go to the emergency room because I had a bad poop, but I pooped and I looked in the toilet and it looked like there was blood in my stool. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, what is this? I didn't know what it was. And don't ever Google when you think something is happening. You know what I mean? Shoot, cancer was popping up. They were saying, man, it's if you have blood in your stool, you need to go to the emergency room. So I'm like, oh shoot. But then I was like, okay, is there a possibility that my poop can be this color for another reason? And so I started to Google, can raspberry tea turn your poop that color? And I did see that drinking beet juice can turn your pee, I mean, not your pee, but your poop that color. But I didn't find this out until an hour later. And the entire time I was thinking about it, I just started to reflect on my life because, that was kind of scary for me. And I've never had a moment like that where my health was in question. So I lost my mom from cancer. And so that popped in my mind. I'm like, oh shoot, like maybe this is, hereditary or, whatever. Maybe this is passing down. And I started to think like, man, when you come to a situation like that, and I'm not acting like, man, I had cancer and I overcame cancer. I was in a tragic car accident. I'm not thinking like that. I'm just saying thinking that I almost had something, or thinking that there was actual blood in my stool, and kind of thinking and revamping my life. It kind of makes you like, what am I spending my time on? What am I spending my time on? Because if you really think about it, the sum of your life is dependent on what you have spent your time on, the choices that you have made, and the choices you make will determine the harvest you reap, each season, and as I started to think about my time, man, I started to think about distractions, little detours that I've had in my life, obstacles, adversity. But I even thought about, man, what am I being fearful about? What am I holding back on? And what am I not taking that first step on? And if I was to, lose my life tomorrow or 2 years from now or 10 years from now or 70 years from now, would I be happy with how I spent my time? Because that's one thing we can never, buy. We can't buy time. You know what I mean? We can buy things that help us be more productive and kind of get our time back in a sense. But, once time is done, it's done. I learned that from my mom, man. My mom passed away, and um, you know, like I can't wish her back. I can't, do anything. And so I started to kind of reflect, man, how am I spending my time? Am I valuing, the things that I should be valuing? Am I compromising what I really want? And then how do I want to be remembered? And I think that's the question we can all ask ourselves is like, okay, what do you value? What do you really want most? And when it's all said and done, if you were to write your obituary, what would you want people to say about you? And I think that's a great question, two, three questions we can all ask, and we can kind of ask ourselves at the end of every week, man, am I spending my time, appropriately? Because, um, life has no problem letting us flow by, and we can, get distracted by things that really don't matter. And sometimes asking the right questions can get us back on track. to doing what God has called us to do, to doing that burning desire in our heart, and living a life where, you know what I mean, at the end of the day, when it's time, you're like, I did that. You know what I mean? Or God, you're looking at God and like God is like, you live life like you're supposed to. But that was my little scare, man. I wanted to get on here and kind of share that because it kind of made me reflect on like my life and how I'm spending my time and what distractions am I allowing to get in the way of, you know, the mission, and what am I compromising, and how do I want to be remembered? So, you know, I hope you guys have a good rest of your night, man. Don't trade what you want most for what you want in the moment. Stay blessed.